Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atmajyotis to today's Bhagavadgita Satsang. So, we are so far contemplated upon the shloka 5.10, and on 5.10 we have framed several questions. In our last session, we touched upon how does offering all the actions to the divine purify me. That was the focus of our discussion based on 5.10. So let us briefly recollect what does 5.10 point at. So Krishna is saying those who dedicate their actions to God, abandoning all attachment, they remain untouched by sin, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. That's the essential message. So once you start dedicating your actions to God without any attachment, there is no uh, effect that the action does, or it is untouched by sin. That's the essential message by Sri Krishna. So now that we have contemplated the first question, how does it purify me? The next set of questions are related to what is papa and punya. What is really papa and what is really punya? So what does it mean to offer? So how do I offer something like papa, sinful activity? And do I need to keep accumulating punya? And is it that actions can be classified as only papa and punya, or are there other categories also? So that is the focus of next three questions, primarily about what is papa, what is punya, and what does karma yoga really mean? Is it papa or punya or some other kind of activity? So if you look at it, these four questions essentially address what we generally classify as papa punya and how do I become free from the effects of them. And that is the pointer that Sri Krishna also has given. So using this as the background, now let us begin our contemplation. You can share your viewpoint on all the four of these together. And as you contemplate, when you feel that you are able to gain clarity about these four together, you can also address how do you know you are making progress and who is really the ultimate judge. If it comes to that, you can speak. Or otherwise, if you want to focus only on papa punya and karma yoga, that is also fine. The choice is yours as you are contemplating. Rajitaji, would you like to begin?
Yes, Vijay. Sir, sorry, before we continue, sir, can you just for a second increase the font size?
Definitely, Ji. So what I can do is,
Only the 5.10 part, yeah.
yes. So I'm just looking at what is the best way to do it. Is this better? Is this
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is perfect. Yeah.
okay? Yes, Rajita ji.
Vijay. So, Papa and Punya uh, are nothing but actions. We give some name as Papa. Oh, you should like for example, if we based on the Chaturvida Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So that is a moksha is the highest
attainment that all of us are uh, desiring. We desire for moksha, and but we need to follow all the three dharma. Our all actions should be based on dharma, um, and artha also is required. And artha should also, um, whatever artha is, dharma, artha, everything should lead towards the moksha. So that is the main goal of our life, of this Janma. So every human being will be craving for that moksha. So if I want to get the moksha, then it is said that you have to have a lot of good merit, positive merit, so that um, it will be whatever knowledge that Gita is, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, or any other Vedas they are giving, to retain that knowledge and to apply in our day-to-day life, and to go according to the route map given by the rishis. Like through dharma only, artha has to be, artha and kama. We have to do all our duties based on uh, those guidelines. But here, so that is the main framework given by our elders. But what makes people do papa or punya? What makes, first of all, let me, from my perspective, let me tell you why why what motivates us to do papa and what motivates us to do punya. It is again, it is related to antahkarana, manas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. So when the right knowledge is not given to the buddhi, right knowledge is not given to buddhi, then and chitta also will have some previous samskaras, and whatever remain leftovers will be there in storehouse of chitta. So whatever is there in chitta will come out, and so that is how we perform papa, negative action, bad actions and good actions based on our whatever it is there in our chitta will be coming out. But if right jnana is given through to the intellect, that is a buddhi, higher mind, with the help of guru, Veda mantras, or shastras, shastras, then we can have even though some whatever even though chitta may be polluted to some level, this right knowledge will guide the manas and chitta to go in the right direction and to perform the actions according to the formula described by our rishis, that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So in that way, a person performing the actions, every action, he'll be accumulating positive merit and negative merit, which will be stored in the chitta, subconscious mind. Um, so that is how he accumulates. As per my understanding, that is how he will be accumulating the good merit and the negative merit.
What is
So with
according to
the
you is good merit, and what is according to you is bad merit or negative merit?
ha, what whatever whatever action which is adharma, which is which does not lead towards moksha, which does not liberate you, which does not feel you light-hearted, then that is bad merit. By performing whatever action which makes you happy, feel lighter, expand your consciousness, then it is a good merit. For example, um, I, if I find any kid, um, if I give something to that kid, I feel so joyful. I feel light-hearted. Though I am not connected to that kid, um, all though I am not attached to that kid, but if I give something, that giving without expectation, unselfishness, that will feel make me joyful. And if I don't ahimsa give me joyful, and it will expand my consciousness. And whenever, under whatever circumstances, if I stick on to the truth, satya, that will make me fearlessness. I don't I'm not I'll have a tremendous amount of that dhairya, fearlessness, that will expand my consciousness. So all these actions which expands my consciousness, which makes me feel lighter, will be I'll consider that as a punya. And in that way, my intellect, I'll be by doing this kind of punya actions which expands my consciousness, I can, whatever knowledge that guru is giving, whatever knowledge that Veda Shastras are giving, that can be absorbed by my intellect like a magnet, powerful magnet. So with that action, the discrimination will be accurate, and whatever actions we will be doing in our day-to-day life, um, we'll have a tremendous clarity. So I think I answered.
So, according to you, whatever action that expands,
Mm,
has a feeling of expansion,
mm,
is punya.
mm.
Whatever that contracts is papa. According.
Yes. Ha, correct.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah, that is my understanding. If required, I'll share further
Sure.
after
So
that.
essentially, you only focused on describing papa and punya for now.
Yes.
Okay. So you want to pause there, and you want to let others also share.
Yes.
Okay.
Ha.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a fair thing. So essentially, you have spoken about B and C.
Mm.
All right. ಪದ್ಮಾ ಅಮ್ಮ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಾಮಕ್ರೋಧ ಮದ ಮತ್ಸರ ಲೋಭಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥಪರ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಅವನನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಅದು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿಡಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತು ಹೊರ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸಹ, ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳನ್ನು, ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಸಹ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕೃತ್ಯಗಳಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಪಾಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಭಾವನೆ, ಶಾಂತತೆಯನ್ನು ತರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಅಂತ ವಿಂಗಡಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಈ ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಮೀರಿದಂತಹದ್ದು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈಸ್ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ an activity or something else? ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಎ ಪಾಪ ಆರ್ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಭೋಕ್ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಕರ್ಮವೂ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಸಾರಿ ಪಾಪವೂ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುಣ್ಯವೂ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅವನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಭೋಕ್ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆಗ ಕಾಮಾದಿಗಳು ಸಹ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ರಾಗ ದ್ವೇಷಗಳು ಸಹ ಕಳಚಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತವೆ. ನಾನು ಭೋಕ್ತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಅದನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷಗಳು ಬರೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗಿಗೆ ಈ ಪಾಪ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಆಗಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅವನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಈ ಪಾಪ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಅವನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೀರಿದ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಅವನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ತಾನು ಭೋಕ್ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಅದು ಸುಕೃತ ಫಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದಾಟಿದಂತಹದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ.
ಧರ್ಮಪರ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಅದು ಪಾಪ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. ಇನ್ನು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವ ಭೋಕ್ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಪದ್ಮಮ್ಮ?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು ಒಂದ ಪಾಪ ಅಥವಾ ಪುಣ್ಯ, ಆ ಎರಡೇನೇ ವಿಭಾಗನ ಅಥವಾ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೀರಿದ್ದು ಸುಕೃತ ಫಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಏನಿದ್ರು ಈ ಒಂದು ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರುತ್ತೋ, ನಾನು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕರ್ತೃನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಭೋಕ್ತನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಗಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅವನು ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವಾಗ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಸುಕೃತ ಫಲವನ್ನು ಗಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಕರ್ಮಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನನ್ನು ಸಿಲುಕಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಧರ್ಮವೇ ಪುಣ್ಯವೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಪಾಪವೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಅವನು ಸಂಸಾರ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲೇ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಈ ಕರ್ಮಫಲ ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತೀರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಧರ್ಮ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೆ, ಇವೆರಡು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂತಹದ್ದೇ.
ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 3 ರೀತಿಯ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು, ಪಾಪ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ಪುಣ್ಯ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ಸುಕೃತ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಸುಕೃತಕ್ಕೂ ಪುಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನಂತ ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅಂತಂದರೆ?
ಪುಣ್ಯ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಳಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಒಂದು ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅದು ಅವನು ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಅವನು ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸುಕೃತ ಫಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವನನ್ನ ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಪುಣ್ಯನೂ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಪುಣ್ಯದಿಂದನೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ
ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದ ಖರ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಖರ್ಚಾಗದೆ ಇರೋಂತಹದ್ದು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್. ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಕೃತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಈಗ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಅದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಒಂದು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸುಕೃತ ಫಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹಾಗೇನಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅವನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಉನ್ನತವಾದ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಪುಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ಸುಕೃತಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದನಾ?
ಮಾಡೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನನೇ.
ಯಾರು ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವ ಭೋಕ್ತೃತ್ವ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡೋ ಕ್ರಿಯೆನ ನೀವು ಸುಕೃತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ.
ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೇದೇ, ಅವನು ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದು ಅದು ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಪುಣ್ಯನ ಸುಕೃತನ?
ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯ, ಅದು ಪುಣ್ಯ.
ಅದು ಪುಣ್ಯ. ಈಗ ಅದೇನೇ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸುಕೃತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ?
ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ. ಭೋಕ್ತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಕರ್ತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾನು ಭೋಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಈಶ್ವರಾರ್ಪಿತ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದಾಗ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಮೀರಿದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆಯೇ ಹೊರತು ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಏನೂ ನಡೀತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕಲವು ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದನೇ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಮಾಡುವ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಾಗತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದೆ.
ಸೊ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಫಲ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ತಾವು ಸುಕೃತ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಒಂದೇನಾ ಬೇರೆನಾ?
ಒಂದೇನೆ.
ಒಂದೇನೆ. ಅದೇನೇ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ?
ಅದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಶುದ್ಧಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಮತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಮ್ಮ?
ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಸರ್, ಏನಾದರೂ ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
ಆಗ್ಲಿ. ಪದ್ಮಾಜಿ?
Yes, sir. I think both of them have covered the points. So according to me, what is Papa? I'll take up all the four, sir. So first of all, to describe it in a very a layman language, Papa is something where I accrue bad karma, and punya is something where I accrue good karma. And if we take just as action, then every action that we perform results in either of these two, and that is what we refer as Papa or punya. However, what is really Papa and punya? According to me, I think any Papa and punya is classified only by us according to the impressions that we carry. We term some action as Papa or some action as punya. For example, if I take the example of a butcher and myself, so for me, any action that the butcher is performing, which is his occupation, would be a Papa, because I consider that, okay, killing animals to satisfy one's hunger is not a dharmic act or is not correct is what will be my understanding. So whatever the butcher is doing will be papa according to me. However, if we see from the butcher's perspective, it will not be he might not consider it as a papa, because that is his source of livelihood, because of which he is eating his food. However, other than how I view this any action to be classified as papa or punya should be based on the four purusharthas, like how Rajita ji has shared, that if first of all the dharma is the topmost in all the four purusharthas, so any action that is done in accordance with dharma will be a punya, or will be a referred to as a good action. That is how I understand this. And anything opposed to dharma or adharmic actions will be papa. Are all actions to be classified? Okay, before that, is it okay to accumulate punya? So for that, again, in the layman language, yes, punya would be better than papa, as punya would result in, you getting back also some good stuff. That is the understanding. If I do good, I'll get back good. If I do bad, I'll get bad. Or what I sow is what I reap, is the ideology behind that. Uh, but if I, according to me, accumulation of papa and punya is one and the same, is what I feel. Because although our experiences might be better, you still have to come in some form, in a human form, to experience both, whether it is papa or punya. Are all actions to be classified as only papa or punya, or is there any other category? So I would here like to bring in, like, what is really karma yoga. Karma yoga is where we perform any action without selfish desire, or which is as a offering to God. Yajna bhava is what is karma yoga. So if we perform action from that bhava, then it is for loka kalyana, like Padmaji also shared. So in that, I am not only performing actions with a selfish motive, but I am also doing it as a yajna bhava. How can others benefit as well from this action? Then there is the action which is neither punya nor papa, which is the karma sanyasa yoga, where you don't think you are the doer. God is the doer. And he is using me as an instrument. And so there is no kartrutvam, or there is no bhoktatvam. So that is the action which is devoid of this papa and punya, because there is neither a selfish motive behind it, nor there is someone to claim doership of that action. So when there is no doership of action, then there is no papa or punya associated with that particular action, is what I feel, sir.
So, according to you, there is activity that can be called as papa when it is adharmic, and punya uh, when it is according to dharma. You also are agreeing to that. And then the the actions done where there is neither doership nor enjoyership, what you referred as now the karma sannyasa, I'm just an instrument, God is the doer. Is that a separate kind of action, or is it also part of the papa punya part of action?
No, I think you evolve to that, because everything is based on the impressions and the vasanas that you carry, no, sir. The impressions and the vasanas we carry give rise to a thought, and the thought is the one that is leading to all these further actions, whatever we are referring as karma or action, is the source for all that is there. So, uh, so based on that, I am saying this. But as we begin to understand it more deeply, then there is no need for us to classify it at all. Because when we are not doing, who are we to classify it? Or on what basis do we classify it? That question arises for me, I feel.
So, so as one evolves in the way they do more
In the way
towards
they think, not
mm,
do. Think. Because that is where the process is starting.
mm.
Yeah.
So the
And
way they think about the
what we
action.
think is based on the impression and vasanas. So when there is a evolvement in the source is when the actions will evolve, I think. I mean, as a consequence, these things will happen. But the source is where the whatever the understanding has to be corrected. So then you start thinking about, okay, where are these vasanas and impressions coming from? Where did I get it from? Can I correct it? What is the way to correct it? I think that is how it evolves, sir.
Mm. So, so fundamentally, in your viewpoint, there are only two classifications, Papa and Punya, and anything that leads to this inner evolution, uh, then the one who is working towards this inner evolution, how would that one classify this, whatever they are doing?
No, no, sir. I am not saying that everything is papa or punya.
Mm.
That is the way of understanding of the ignorant person initially. No, Uh,
Mm.
see, that is why I am judging a butcher.
Mm.
That is why I am thinking that I am probably great because I don't think what he's doing right, or I don't perform something what he does. So I
Mm.
am great. All
Mm.
this is all this is based on the impressions that carry from my childhood, either from this lifetime or a previous lifetime,
Mm.
where I have received this impression or this thought from somewhere else that what that fellow does is wrong,
Mm.
and you are great because you don't do that.
Mm.
That is the wrong understanding that I have. And that is coming from the, because I have an ego, right? I have a superior, I have an identity where I think that I'm very superior to all these people, or I may think I am superior to someone else also. If I see somebody treat somebody badly without knowing the background or whatever, I might, if I just judge that person based on what I'm seeing currently, I may not arrive at a correct understanding or anything of that sort. I am still in my impressions only. But when I work at the source, what happens when I am correcting my impressions, when I am saying I am not my impressions, they are separate from me because they are all collected. They are accumulations of this lifetime and many lifetime. Then I will see, or I will be able to have a clarity that I cannot see someone based on that glass. That is wrong. I have to remove that glass, is what will come to me. And when I remove that glass, only when it is red, everything will appear as red or blue or green. When there is no glass, everything will appear very crystal clear. So, what is to be done is done through me. But why do I have to know whether it is good or bad?
Mm.
Because anyway, I don't have control over it, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. But the reason I put it like that is uh, probably that is how I understood it before I went into Gita. I
Mm.
thought that maybe when I was suffering physically, there was a thought that, you know what, I have done, because I've heard everywhere. Generally, diseases are the afflictions of your probably past life karma.
Mm.
Some bad karma you did has come as a disease.
Mm.
But do I really need to know why I got that disease? How is it going to help me? I cannot anyway go, even if I have done that and this is a result of that, which I don't know. How can I go back and correct it? No, I don't even know where that arose. So, or where I did that which contributed to this. So, what is the need for correcting it? Right now, I have a disease, means I have to focus only on what can be done now. Is the medical procedure going to solve it? Is medication going to solve it, or is food going to solve it? And because of that disease, what are the limitations I have currently? Can those be addressed? If it can be addressed, then I should work towards it. If it that also, if it is if it is becoming an obstacle in my spiritual journey, if it is not becoming an obstacle in my physical journey, do I need to worry about it? As long as it is not an impediment to me, I don't need to address it or do anything about it. It will just go on its own. It is again changing. So today it might be, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, it might be 5. Tomorrow it can go to 4. Then maybe 10 years later it might go to an 8. But I don't need to associate with it, or I don't need to worry about it, because who I really am is not what all these things are. Yeah. So that is why I put it like that, sir. To begin the understanding of karma, maybe I understood it like that. But as I come to these studies through the scriptures, when I start thinking about who I really am, then I don't need to think about all this. This is all actually meaningless. And if we actually see in our life or in this journey, where is all this divided? Maybe Krishna also put it into chapter only for ease of understanding. Can we really classify everything as karma yoga, karma sannyasa yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga? How are we going to even classify it? Because everything is a flow, right? In a day, there are moments where you are sitting in front of, say, an idol, and you are chanting some mantra. So for you, maybe in that particular day, the bhakti, maybe you classify that as a bhakti. Oh yeah, every day at maybe 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. I chant all this mantra for 45 minutes, and that is the part of my bhakti yoga. No, bhakti yoga is also when you prepare food for your child. Bhakti yoga is when you take care of elderly person in your house, because you are doing it with a bhava that it is Krishna. It is him who you are serving. It is God who you are serving, or it is God who wants to serve that person through you, because ultimately he is within everyone. You are in everyone. That understanding, as you get to, then there is no need for all these terms, or all then nothing. It is just for, I don't know, just for understanding, maybe better clarity, that Krishna has used all these words. That's all. But when you are in a flow, there is no need. I mean, ideally, if you are in the flow, you wouldn't have time to think. Right? The thinking is always happening only in the future or in the past. Currently, you are just in the flow. So there won't be time to judge also. Even judgment is either in the it is always in the future, right? Like you are judging after the event. After you see something is where you are judging. At that moment, if you are watching a butcher, it is only you watching and that person cutting. That's all you are observing. The 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 yeah, the part where, oh, this fellow is doing something bad, is coming post the action. So there cannot be any correction also there, right? It is as it is. It is happening as is now. Yeah, that is how I understand it, sir. Yeah. Maybe I don't know if I have not put it correctly, like how you wanted to. I mean, which gives clarity. I don't know, but yeah, the
Yes.
understanding for me is that, sir. Like, yeah, because I feel we plan a lot of things, and also um, when I spoke about the illness that I got, you have, again, it's an impression that illness is bad, right? You should not get it. I think that is also one basis. Like all of us, when we feel sick, the focus is on recovering, okay? But uh, the thing that, okay, why you got this illness? This is such a bad illness, especially if it is a different. It is not, say, it is not a some simple fever or something. Then everybody will put some things into you, no? Like probably if it is something stomach related, we think, oh, this person would never have eaten properly, or maybe he's only eating. All these things are coming up, and it is fed by society. Do we actually know what that person ate, or is it even because of eating? There is no way to determine all that.
Mm.
Or if it is a related to mind, or maybe this person thought too much, or if nothing else is there, then it must be some kind of past karma he did, or she did.
Mm.
Yeah, but all these are just impressions coming from, say, how people around you, from society. You did not know this when you were born, so it has been fed by the society in this lifetime, or you have acquired it in some past lifetime. But yeah, that is the place where the correction needs to be. So if I have an impression like this, I already know because of the scriptures that it is not my own. I have carried it from someone else or something else. So I need to correct that. I need to erase that. And that is the path that we are on. So
So to summarize, in ignorance, I have a tendency to classify.
yeah,
However, when the right knowledge appears, there
yes,
is really no individual doer. So with
yeah,
clarity, even the classification of it is papa or punya is just
mm,
naturally drops.
yeah, yes, sir.
It is only a natural state of flow.
Yeah, yes, sir. Perfect, sir. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Very nice, Padmaji. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Krishnaji, Hari Om.
Hari Om Krishna ji.
Hari Om Vijay. Hari Om.
Yeah. So, Krishnaji, you may have gathered by now, we are contemplating broadly these four questions. So, each one is defining what is papa or what is punya according to their
Yeah.
understanding. And is there anything else other than that? And is karma yoga a papa or punya kind of an activity? And what about karma sannyasa yoga? So, that is the broad set of questions
Yes.
being discussed.
Yeah. I was listening to Atmaji. I had a similar thing. I'll just summarize and say it. And first of all, apologies for joining late due to some situation I couldn't make up.
No issues.
I'll
Please don't
start
be
with
worried.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please let me know if there is some network connect issue.
No, I am able to hear you clearly.
Please interrupt me. Okay. Sure. Even earlier means like even thinking about God and what is this life about. Earlier to that, um, I was not having any concept of. I mean, I was having like which is Papa Punya. Usually through the way we brought up, mostly in our homes, it also um, you should do Papa only, not Punya. If you do uh, Papa, you'll go to in Tamil they'll say Naraka or Naraka. So similar to that, but right after starting, I initially add so Papa is something which I do for only myself, and even after understanding that might cause some uh, bad effect or something wrong to the other person or any creatures which I feel it's bad, but I'm okay. Like I'm considering okay. whatever I do, it's creating most of the happiness out of that action. I'm not even worried even after I'm knowing that. But again, the third stage, I don't know when this stage is transitioned from one to another, but over the period of time, even shloka by shloka, and under also listening to Guru's talks, um, uh, now my way of understanding is slightly different. So it is like Papa, there is nothing like Papa or Punya here in the thing what we are doing. It's all about like there is a set of or there is a bank of memory which is their part of this body and mind which is getting stored and it has its own way of interpreting things, the situation. For example, like if I see a dog, if I see a particular person or particular group, the way they are, right? I would, I'm having a certain kind of opinion or even a conclusion about them, even if I am not even being interacted with them. So dog, for example, I am afraid of a dog. I'm just an example. And then earlier I used to be very afraid of dog, but but I don't know whether this might be funny, but even this Gita helped me to overcome that fear. Okay, okay. So why it is even first of all barking, what it is doing, and what is it I can do better. See, instead of worrying, it could create me a lot of anxiety and like it's like do or die kind of situation. Like that's where I was much in the initial days, but later like what is that even I? Why is that I'm thinking like that? If I stand silent, I did it, experimented it actually during my college days. So like sometimes late or sometimes alone, sit alone, irrespective of it is day or night, dogs would come after me. I don't know why. Then I realized and I stopped it. That day, like they were shouting and barking, I mean barking. But after couple of or 1 minute, it silenced. And when I moved and it was good gone. That's all. So similar way, like going after that, I will not even worry about whether it is going to bark or bite me, and I have to go. So same way, that's a simple example. I would relate it. So any action, any do right, it is going to be a now after this jnana, it's always going to be learning things for me. But whatever the things are in there, it is go with the flow. Uh, don't do it anything for selfish. So that's all. If anything is getting selfish action without even worrying about anything else on this world, then it's going to create an impression again. Okay, I like this situation, or like I like this people, and who is making me happy. So that is getting stored. Whereas if I operate uh, selfless, right, the karma yoga way, I do it whatever comes in, and I know whatever is dharmic, whatever the definition of dharmic which I have right now. So I will do that way. So that I anyhow I'm when I do karma yoga, I'm not even attached to results, right? So there is no new impressions are created, but there are impressions which is part of this body, mind, and vasanas. So that I'm going to resolve it or like unlearn it. So that's how I'm seeing these all three, I mean all four uh, Papa Punya categorization, merit or demerit, those things which I see. So, summarizing, there are my vasanas, I have my own vasanas, and I perform action out of it or respond according to it. Through this karma yoga and Bhagavadgita path, I'll be performing an action selfless and anyhow I'm doing karma yoga, so I'm not worried about result. So it is not going to me, it's not I'm not going to expect or I do anything out for my for this body mind. Instead, whatever is coming and whatever I'm willing to do, it will be in a dharmic way. That's how I want to summarize. That is my understanding.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, Krishnaji.
Thank you.
So each one of you put it out very nicely. So just to kind of summarize our discussion so far, um, I like to present it in a slightly pictorial way. So generally, when we think of action, what is that we call as action? So we have seen this example several times, like taking the example of a farmer. If he needs a fruit, what he does, he first sows the seed, then he tills the land and cares for the land and for the plant, and then eventually he will receive a particular fruit, right? So when you notice this, in this cycle, this is the initial desire or the sankalpa, and this is the doing part, the fruit. And who is that who is doing? There is an idea of me within each one. There's an idea of who I am. You know who I am, and I need this. I, as a let's say a mother, I need groceries. Why? I need to make food for me and my family. I, as a wife, needs gold. Why? Because I need to look good. So like that, each each uh, uh, each one has a host of desires, and there is a work that happens for that, and there is a fruit that happens, and there is a me in the picture, right? So this is the most fundamental equation. There is a aim or a sankalpa which we call as the, which is started by the desire. I need something, I want something, it would be nice if it is there. So that leading to action, working towards it, leading to the fruit of that action. So sankalpa, karma, karma phala. This is the cycle, and then I continue to do this. As I get this karma phala, I feel it is nice, and then I work towards more and more of it. Or I feel it is not nice, then also I work towards avoiding it. So in a way, this is what is happening continuously. When you notice life, what you call as life, what you call as your life or my life or anybody's life can be essentially seen as broadly. There is a some kind of a thinking called as a sankalpa or a aim or a, this is what I want, and there is some another set of thinking that happens called as action related thoughts, but they eventually get expressed through the body. Many a times the desire may not be seen, but the action towards a desire can be generally seen. Then there is a outcome, fruit, right? So this is the cycle that is constantly happening. In this cycle, many a times we classify it as ayo my karma. Based on what? See, if let's say when the sankalpa is to have, let's assume, I've made idli for my family. The sankalpa is I want this idli to be eaten by my family and they should appreciate. So the focus is on, here, the karma pala, what? Some kind of an appreciation. So when the fruit of the action is positive or negative, success or failure, I have a tendency to like the success, and I have a tendency to dislike the failure. That is how ayo my karma appears, right? And sometimes in terms of the karma pala, I don't have a conscious memory of having done it or doing it, but still it appears like a seen or unseen, right? So um, I know right now I went and turned on the heater, and the whatever the milk, it boiled. I can see, oh, I turned on the heater, so the milk boiled. But sometimes something happens in my life, like the example that Padmaji was giving, like a disease, especially something that you have no way to explain. Why did it come? How did it come? So like that, karma phala can be seen in terms of either there are some seen and unseen aspects to karma phala, drushta, adrushta, or what we generally classify them as success or failure. So fundamentally, when I and you say ayo my karma, in a tendency of in a tone of why it has happened, why me, when we have such feelings, see, when success comes, no, most often all of us are very proud, very okay, very happy. If somebody comes and praises you, you don't worry about ayo my karma. You simply, wow, I did it, right? So the me has a tendency to like the success part of it, but dislike the failure part of it. When it is a success part of it, the me has a tendency to take pride in it. But the moment the failure comes, is where this me has a tendency to say, ayo, why me? See the nature of this ego, this me, very liking for success, but total dislike for failure. So, ayo my karma arises from when a outcome happens and the outcome is not according to what this fellow wants, or not according to the sankalpa. I wanted my child to sit and study all the time, but my child is sitting and watching mobile all the time. That is not what I want. Ayo my karma, ಏನಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, right? So like that, we tend to talk about life in these respects. Why are they there in my life? Why this disease in my life? I've done so many good things. Why it has come to me? Like that, we like or dislike, and through that we tend to have a feeling of happy, I'm happy, or I'm unhappy. If somebody is having a terrible disease, and if you go and ask them, how are you feeling, they will start crying and start saying, ayo, you know what happened, this has come to me, all that, right? So there is a sadness, grief, worry, anxiety, all these are generally associated with what has come to you. What has come to you, the karma phala, the phala that has come to you, when there is a, why I don't want this, that is when all the cry, grief, worry, tension, anxiety begins. So, this is how generally you and I tend to classify karma and karma phala, and ruminate over it before we start seeing the right knowledge, before we start understanding it through the right knowledge. So that is where we need to understand how karma functions. How does karma function? So for that, we all know, as I sow, so shall I reap. Okay, Madidunno Maharaya. In all languages, you will find something very simple and equivalent. As I sow, so shall I reap. Who put the seed? I put the seed. Now, who is having the fruit? I am having the fruit. Or like in this picture on the right hand side, you see, it's called a dominoes effect. I push a domino and eventually this domino comes and hits me. So I am the one who pushed it, and this is the one which is hitting. This is as I sow, this is I shall reap. So like that, we have a very simple, clear, generally understood way of how karma functions. And that is natural, because ultimately for something to appear, there must be a cause. But the issue is, I tend to accept. If it is a mango fruit here, I tend to accept. But if it is a bitter gourd, I tend to reject. So therefore, either I should accept whether it is a mango or a bitter gourd. In other words, whatever is the situation of life, when I learn to accept, then also it's okay. Then whatever karma, I can say it's all my karma only. Not in a very ayo my karma way. It is all my karma only. The disease is my karma. The current situation of my life is my karma. The current praise is my karma. The current insult is my karma. Every situation, every emotion, every whatever the circumstances in any given moment is my karma. That also can help me be at peace. When I don't have a ayo my karma way of looking at it, rather it is my karma, then that also is perfectly going to help you be in equilibrium. However, the teaching of Krishna and the teaching of the Sadguru is to help you and me evolve beyond this. So that is where, we all know this story of Dhritarashtra and 100 sons and how karma functions, to help us understand that the unseen many a times is due to accumulation from various past actions. And most often we may not have memory of it. So therefore, when something unfavorable comes to me at this point of time, though I may be thinking I'm doing only the right kind of things, that unfavorable or whatever I do not want to accept could be because of all the past, which I may not even have a conscious memory of it. So, to help you and me understand that the way karma functions is, it's a very fair game player. Karma is like a very fair game player. See, that is why the one who decides all this in the Puranas is the Devata called as Yama Dharma. So Yama Dharma is the one who decides along with your Chitragupta. That is how all of this no. So how does this Yama Dharma and Chitragupta function? To know that, you have to know where is the largest bank in the world. If I ask any one of you where is the largest bank in the world, the most often answer is, some bank, Swiss bank. We all have heard, no? Our politicians have looted all of us and have put billions and billions of dollars in the Swiss bank. So we all tend to think, oh, it must be some Switzerland, some Swiss bank, or maybe it is in USA. So like that, we tend to think of largest bank as, or somebody may say, oh, that's a large blood bank. So largest bank always gives an impression of something that is accumulated somewhere in some fashion, right? But the largest bank actually is within you and me. And that bank is nothing but the bank of the memory, what you all earlier referred as chitta. And this chitta is where we continuously are recording. But there has to be clarity in understanding this. So when you and I are performing action, how you and I tend to think of this karma ledger or the papa and the punya. So based on our various Purana stories, we all have seen Yama and Chitragupta discussing. Chitragupta is one who's carrying all the recording of everything that you have done. And Yama listens to Chitragupta and decides, oh, he has to go to Swarga or he has to go to Naraka. And what is the way we generally think about it? We think, oh, okay, I gave food to a hungry person, it is punya. I told a lie, it is papa. I fought with somebody, it is papa. I helped a blind person. So, like that, we have a record keeping, no, in our mind. That's what we do, right? I gave that fellow 10 rupees that day. Especially in our Indian marriages, no, this is so meticulously followed. You know what they gave to my marriage? They gave one steel glass and one steel tatte. And that too, they had written their name with love and blessings from Channamma. So we also have to do the same thing. So one steel butler, one steel tatte with love from our family. And we will also add another 10 rupees. Let them be happy. We give little more. So like that, we tend to keep track of what has happened, what has not happened, who did what. So that is how you and I, before the right knowledge, tend to think of karma, the ledger of karma. There is a positive side and there is a negative side. Positive side is generally classified as punya, negative side is generally classified as papa. And then we tend to think, oh, is my papa and punya balanced? Oh, then I am in equilibrium. This is the way it is thought generally. But the reality is, this is not how the ledger happens. How the ledger happens is, as you all have seen this picture many a times, whatever that you and I are doing in life, like how Padmaji said earlier, the flow, in any situation, there is a wave of sensations coming, and those wave of sensations are being judged based on what is in the dictionary by the identity that is carried at that point of time by the buddhi. So as and when this, oh, okay, this is a bird, this is nice bird, oh, this is a bird, this is not a nice bird. So like that, various kinds of judgments are constantly happening as and when various various sensations are coming through the impressions stored. So this continues to build. So situations are there, and in the situations there is a sensation and interpretation. The sensation and the interpretation continues to be recorded in the mind as like it and dislike it. So this is what is happening fundamentally. There is a situation, and the situation is bringing a sensation, and the sensation is being interpreted, and the interpretation is getting recorded as like and dislike, want and don't want, raga dvesha. This is the recording that is happening in the chitta, in your mind. So that is the symbol of, that is the essence of Chitragupta. So he is recording everything in your mind, in your chitta. Chitra Gupta. Gupta means rahasya, unseen. It cannot be seen. What has been recorded cannot be seen. Gupta. And it is all recorded. That is why this fellow Chitragupta is in your chitta. He is recording everything, whatever it is, all through the life. Every impression is getting recorded. The judgment that was made is recorded. The impressions that are explained are recorded. So he is Chitra Gupta, Gupta Chitra. So he is recorded there. Once when this is recorded, then the karma starts playing, because that is what starts becoming your impressions, right? They, as they start growing, uh, as you do something, you like it and you tend to want to do it more and more. So you already explained how that starts becoming a cycle of vritti. So a simple action done leaves an impression, and as you keep doing it, it starts becoming a tendency. So how do you wake up at 6 o'clock? You wake up one day, and the next day, and the next day. After some time, many people you may know, they say, I cannot sleep. Even if I sleep very late, 4 o'clock, I wake up. So it has become a tendency. Or the other way also, whatever it is, in the morning, as soon as I wake up, I cannot do anything without a chota coffee. It has become a pattern. When very young, that pattern wasn't there, but now the pattern has got developed. How? By doing something repetitively, and that triggers, and that is what we call as our vasana sanskara. So this entire cycle is what is happening in any given situation. And this is deep, very deep. How deep? Nobody knows. There is something that you and I are aware of. Oh, I like mango. I don't like bitter gourd. Something like that, you are aware of. But some other deeper tendencies. As soon as I go to that person, somehow my all anger and such feelings erupt. Why? Don't know. And as soon as I go to some other person or place, I feel peaceful. Why? I don't know. So like that, various are, I see somebody eating and maybe using their tongue to clean their hand. Worst. How could they eat like that, like a pig? So all these kinds of feelings and various kinds of judgments may appear because of various kinds of subconscious impressions. Maybe somewhere, what is the right way of eating? What is the wrong way of eating? What has to be considered as socially acceptable? What is not socially acceptable? All of these have gone, and all of these play out at various situations, in various situations. I may be aware of them, I may not be aware of them. But that is how the the various impressions, which is what you and I can call as a karma bank. What is karma bank? Is nothing but this iceberg in this picture, or this whatever the impressions that are in the memory, the chitta. So chitta, chitta is your and my karma, and what it erupts at any point of time, the chitta, and what it plays out at any point of time is your and my bondage. Because you and I, as long as you and I are bound to our impressions and act only based on the impressions, then that can cause either a favorable or unfavorable. But it's a hit or miss. It's a sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Why? Because I'm acting out of my impressions. As soon as I see that person, this is how I talk, because that person is a very greedy person, so I will talk to him like this only. This person is a very dumb fellow. I can easily talk to him or her like this. So like that, when I perform actions in life based on only the impressions, then I tend to again either strengthen the impressions I have, or loosen the impressions, right? So this becomes your and my bondage in life, because you and I are not acting out of what is in the current moment, what is the reality of the current moment, but you and I are acting based on some picture that is in the mind. So you and I become bound. Who is bound? Who is bound? This fellow. Who is this fellow? That question also cannot be clearly understood, because the focus is on what is happening around that fellow. All the attention is on what is happening, not on truly becoming liberated. And that can happen only by understanding who this fellow is. But the focus becomes only here. Ayo karma, ayo yen kashta aagta ide gotta. So this is where you would have seen many of these kind of videos where what kind of impressions go, that kind of action comes out. This particular video, you might have seen it, where there's this little child who's in the company of people who are chanting. Notice. So as you can see, the child is acting out what impressions have come to the child. So like that, you and I, before the right jnana, are a product of our environment, product of what is happening in our environment. So there is a great debate about nature or nurture. And the nurture part is nothing but what is in and around us. So that is why all our elders have always said the kind of the company you keep is very important. So satsanga means that only. It means it brings about impressions to help you and me evolve. So that is the fundamental teaching of any great master, that you and I, only when you and I become free from this cycle that we're constantly in, the cycle of I have done something and based on that there's a fruit and that is next leading me to next. This cycle is where you and I are constantly caught up. To become free means to realize who I am truly. And to realize who I am truly, I have to have a mind which is free from all this jitteriness that is caused by constant focus on action. So, how to be like that? That is where you all would know this particular shloka from Upadeshasaram. So, Ramana Maharshi is saying, Kriti Mahodadau Patana Karanam, Falama Shashvatam Gati Nirodakam. The fruit of the action passes, but action leaves behind seed of further action as an impression in the mind, leading to an endless ocean of action. Not at all to moksha, freedom. Freedom means what? Freedom means I neither need something nor can I lose something. Freedom means what? Neither there is pleasantness, there is unpleasantness. Freedom means what? Neither there is anger nor there is peace. So, freedom is transcendence above all what we generally classify as dualities of life. So, as long as I'm not in that, I will be caught up in this punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. And therefore, the way to help us go beyond this, there is a detailed teaching of okay, what kind of actions are there, the sanchita karma, agami karma, prarabdha karma, and out of that, how I should perform the action. So the action has to be therefore for my inner evolution towards reaching my higher nature. And karma yoga, karma yoga means what? Karma yoga means where I am not interested in the fruit of the action. When I'm not interested in the fruit of the action, and as I continue to do whatever I am doing as an offering to the Lord, Ishwararpitam Nechaya Kritam. So when I do whatever I'm doing as an offering to the divine, that slowly helps the ego to become free from the cycle and to ultimately realize that the ego is simply none other than the divine. There is no separate ego. And beyond that, there is no separate self and the world. So, self only is the world. And that is the state of the flow. Flow means there is no more any duality. There is simply a happening. There is Shiva and Shakti, and they are in harmony. So, that is the ultimate journey of what Shri Krishna is pointing at. Hari Om. Is there any additional points or are there any questions in anybody's mind?
No, sir.
Wonderful. Rajita ji, Krishna ji, Padma Amma.
No, Vijay. Very clear.
ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
All right. Then let us end our today's contemplation. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.